Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. Apparently I had a little typo on my timer there. I set it for PM instead of AM, but here I am. And we are going to go ahead and put together sketch number 3, right? Am I on 3? Yes, I am on 3. I just finished with number 2, and we are going to be using the Joy to the World collection for this sketch. Sketch number 3 in the Creative Memories Worldwide Virtual Crop. So without further ado, as usual, let's go ahead and switch over to the table view here. And here we go. Here is our sketch that I'm going to be putting together this time using the Joy to the World collection. I just kind of thought this would be really cute to put together with this collection because this piece here just kind of reminded me of a note to Santa, basically. And I did again go ahead and pull out my journal pen, my black journal pen, my dual tip pen, so that way hopefully you all can see what cuts I am making here. I forgot to mark my circle, but that's what I'm going to be cutting here first. So we actually are going to be using the largest circle of our custom cutting system with the blue blade. And to use this, you need to make sure that you get the 2 pegs into the track, or else you are going to rip your paper. So a lot of times I like to actually angle the circle so I can make sure I am getting it into the pegs properly. And then voila, you have a really nice circle done quickly and easily. And here we go. That's going to be our circle on our layout. And on the sketch, you can see where our circle is half above and half below. And we're actually going to turn this one into an ornament. And I'll show you how. But first, I'm going to show you a little hack with our 12-inch trimmer. You just place your circle essentially as far up into the track here as it'll go between these 2 white edges, I guess is the best word for it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and cut, and it cuts and makes your circle a nice even cut in half circle. So that done, I'm going to go ahead and grab out the rest of my papers that I have for this. And I will say that I am using some scraps I had again for this because I just love using up scraps. Like I said, I tend to be a little more frugal with some of my papers, and I really want to show you all ideas and uses for your scraps. You could see the piece that I cut my circle out of was just a weird shape, but my circle came out of it perfectly. This is going to be our base. It's got the grid on it with the little Christmas decor, wreaths and music notes and holly and all kinds of stuff on the back, but I just wanted to have a nice neutral base for our page. I'm just going to go ahead and work on the 13 by 13 mat. We'll see how this goes for me. And then I had this piece that I had actually punched a bunch of pieces out around it. So I cut it down, and it's 6 inches by 7 3/4 inches. So 6 this way, 7 3/4 this way, and it should work really nicely to fit 2 photos into. I had a piece of dark gray cardstock that was at 4 1/4 inches by 12 that I am going to replace essentially these 2 pieces with. And I have a half mat we're going to use for our little Santa note. It was one that had some little, I mean, we could even leave it with this side up, but I actually liked the idea of actually having the plain, but we'll see once we get to the point of putting it on the page. And I also had this. So this piece was left over from cutting some bows or something with my decorative trimmer. And so when I measured it, it's about 2.5 inches from the points here. And you can see it's not exactly symmetrical, but I think it's still going to be pretty on our page and work out really nicely. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and start putting things down so that way we can get our page together. and I'll just keep telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So my dark gray cardstock is going down. Like I said, 4 1/4 by 12 inches, and this is kind of, I feel like I'm going to be very precise. I'm going to go about an inch. This is about 1 1/4 in, because since I'm working on the mat, I can let you all know exactly where I am on the page. We're going to go ahead and place our little remnant here. And I'm going to place it a little bit more to the left, because when I was looking at doing this layout, I saw that my other piece kind of does run into the gray box just a little bit, and I didn't want it necessarily hitting this piece. So we're going to go ahead around 3 inches. So it's basically between 3 and the 9 is where I'm going to place this one here. So we have that lined up nicely. Actually, I'm going to, oops, let me get out my multi-purpose tool. I'm actually going to turn it over because I want my flowers going the opposite way. Okay, put my page back on, lined up. See, now that I'm using these, and I knew I wanted to be between the 3 and the 9, I need to line my paper back up here. And now I can get between the 3 and the 9. I guess that's one of the benefits of eyeballing it, is you just kind of go with it. But that's okay. Part of the fun of live streaming, right? So there we go. I kind of wanted more of the blooms over here. I don't know why. It just looked better to me. So that's why I went ahead and flipped it. And then we also have our ornament that's going to go here. The bottom part of the ornament is just going to go on as it is, coming out from the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one on. And I'm kind of going to run it just a little bit underneath the page above this gray page. And now what I've also done is I took out my piece by piece mini punch trio, and I took our petal punch and I punched from another scrap I had of this gold ornamenty page that had the navy plaid on the back. I punched out a petal, and that's going to be the top of our ornament here. So let me grab my parchment board, which you will see in other videos, and I explain in other videos, so I think I'm not going to explain it this time. But this is going to be the top of our ornament up here. And then I've also pulled out some of the embellishments had these really cute enameled pieces. And one of the enameled pieces is this little silver square, but I'm going to make it into a diamond to represent the top of our ornament. And you could also take your mini punch trio and try to punch this tiny little circle here off the side. But when I tried that, it was just a little bit hard. I guess maybe if you punch the little circle first and then try to line up your petal, that might work a little bit better. But it didn't work out for me. So, okay, so here's the other half of our ornament going on the page. And what else do we need? Our mat. And, oh, yes, I also did pull some stickers. So let's get this mat on here first. I'm actually going to grab my journal pen here, and I'm going to use the fine tip side. I am going to go ahead and write Dear Santa on here. Apparently I can't talk and write at the same time, but you know, when you're trying to write really neat, you really have to focus. So that's just the way it is, apparently. Okay, so this is going to go kind of coming off the side here. Maybe we'll try not to accentuate our, there we go. It was almost seeming to accentuate our non-symmetrical piece since I used the scrap. There we go. So Dear Santa. And then once we get our pictures, we can see what else we want to write on here as far as what goes with our pictures, maybe what happened that year at Christmas. And what else did I pull? I pulled the candlestick and I pulled some of our stickers. We're actually going to use the Santa sleighs going across the top and the bottom of the page because we do have on our sketch where you run a border across the top and the bottom or a border sticker. Oh, okay. Well, I liked this, but I don't know if it's going to fit now. Okay, yes, it should. So let's get Santa down first because our sticker sheet is a 12-inch sticker sheet. This should work out. Oops, I'm ripping the sticker. So be careful when you pull these off. They are, because you have the little string between the reindeer and then you've got the antlers there. So let's go ahead and run this one up here. Oh, and that's going to work out pretty well. There we go. And then I'm going to grab a foam square again and pop this one up because Santa's just there on the page, but we're going to go ahead and pop up our sentiment here a little bit. And this first one says Merry Christmas to all. And we're going to go ahead and act like it's kind of fallen off the back end of the sleigh. And then the red one says, and to all a good night. Let me get this other sleigh off of here. Our sleighs are going to be running in the same direction, but that's okay. There we go. And let's put this one on with our foam squares also. Those backings off. Here we go. Just adding that little extra dimension to our sticker there. And like I said, I grabbed out the candlestick and it went somewhere. Here it is. Whew. Okay, because I thought that might work as well, but I don't think it is now. So I'm going to take a look at some of my other stickers real quick because we do have where you can put maybe a title sticker or something here. I don't know if we necessarily need it with having our sentiment over here. And there's like a opportunity for either an embellishment or a sticker cluster over here. I don't usually like to overly clutter the pages though, so I might not do too much. Okay, so here's a Here Comes Santa Claus. I can't resist. I'm not going to put it across here. I'm going to put it just under because we still have to put our pictures, of course. But here's a Here Comes Santa Claus sticker. That's going to go down here. And I think that's actually going to be it. I thought about maybe this little holly piece for on top here, but I think we have enough motion and movement on our page, enough to look at with the ornament, with our stickers, and with our little Santa note. And then when our pictures go on, it'll really help draw our eyes to our pictures, which is the whole point of why we're putting the page together in the first place. So let me pull this sketch back in. That came together pretty quickly. This was our sketch number 3. Using Joy to the World, and quite a few scraps, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the layout. It came together very nicely and smoothly. And I will be back in just a little bit, hopefully with sketch number 4. Until next time.